Okay, just sit yourself, get yourself ready for your restorative practice. Have a blanket on top of your mat and just prepare your space. Just make sure that you're warm enough. Have a blanket nearby. If you're not, have a bolster for underneath your knees, a couple of blocks underneath your feet, and a folded blanket for underneath your head. Just make sure that it's well folded and even. And then come down onto your back. Take your glasses off if you're wearing them, just to help you to completely relax. And then just allow yourself to release down into the floor. If you can cover your eyes, then that is good. Just allow yourself a few moments to completely relax into the floor. Just make sure that you feel evenly placed. Just allow yourself to release. Just ensuring that you feel balanced in terms of the equipment. Just listen to the breath as it enters and as it exits. Soften your jaw and your tongue in your throat. Just spend a few moments to observe your breath. Just acknowledging the length of the in-breath and the length of the out-breath. And consciously unhook the muscles of the arms and the legs. Just allowing yourself to gently release into the floor. Allow the body to become heavy on the floor. And observe the energy that radiates out from the bones, radiating from the bones and into the muscles, use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness that laying on the ground returns into the body. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling down into the toes, into the fingers, to the fingertips, into the top of the head. Distributing that energy into the toes and into the fingertips, bringing that sensation of energetic lightness into the limbs, into the torso. And draw that energy of the body up into the top of the skull. Just observing the tingly lightness of the limbs. Just enjoying this feeling of complete release. to this pose of basic relaxation. Basic relaxation pose is designed to quieten the mind and the brain. Just enjoying this moment of respite from your day. Just a chance to revitalise your energy. When you're ready, I'm just going to bring ourselves back into this restorative reclining pose. When you're ready to disturb yourself, just gently wriggle your toes and your fingers. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, have your feet apart and your knees together, just resting your back into the floor. And then when you're ready, roll onto your right side. Again, no rush to get up, just taking your time. And then straighten out the top leg. And then come up into, just cross legs for a moment, just observe how just from that conscious relaxation your energy feels different, perhaps a little more free and flowing. We're going to do the mountain brook pose, which is a really nice pose. So get your blanket, just make sure that it's well folded and just open it up so it's like this kind of quarter fold like that, and then fold it down the middle so you've got this kind of narrow, quite fat folded blanket. So you can keep the bolster there for your legs, just have the bolster there for your legs, and have this is going to be for your shoulder blade region. So you're going to come down onto the floor just with the bolster underneath your knees, and then you come down onto the folded blanket. So the folded blanket is just in your shoulder blade region, just adjust it if it's not in the right place, and then you're just going to let your arms rest on the floor over your head. So this is a really good one for stiff shoulders. If your shoulders are really stiff, then you might want a block or some other blankets underneath your hands just to support your shoulders. Otherwise, just adjust the position of the bolster underneath the knees so that you're comfortable in the lumbar. Have your head on the floor, and then just allow yourself to just really gently release into the ground. So as you know, as we progress into the sequence, I'll speak less and less so that you're not spending the time concentrating and listening. You can just spend the time releasing into the ground. Okay, release your arms, just rest your hands on your lower ribs. And then bend your knees and then roll onto your side. Just stay down on your side with the bolster, with a little blanket underneath your underneath your armpit, and then get a block just to rest your head. So you got the little folded blanket underneath the armpit chest, and then keep the knees bent, and then stretch your arm over the top of the upper arm over the top over your ear. Just allow yourself to release into the floor. So you don't need the bolster for your knees, just move that out of the way if it's in the way. It's got the slightly smaller bolster underneath the armpit chest, but the smaller bolster will just, the blanket will just give you a gentle activation of that armpit chest. You'll still get the release of the shoulders. To our side lying stretch. Just bring that top arm back to rest on your shoulder, on your hip, sorry. And then just roll over onto your back, and then just adjust and roll onto your other side. Again, just moving any equipment out of the way. So the blanket is underneath the armpit chest again, the block is underneath your head. And you release your arm over your head, over your ear. So just make sure that you're comfortable. Okay, and then just bring your top arm back onto your hip. Push your elbow into the floor and then just come up into cross legs, just a seated position, just holding onto your knees. Just draw your chin down to meet your chest. And draw the chin up to meet the ceiling. And down to meet the chest. And then chin up to meet the ceiling. And then come back to the centre. Draw your right ear down towards your right shoulder. Keeping your shoulder away from your ear. Back to the centre and over to the left. And then back to the centre. And then back to the right. And then back to the centre and just over to the left. Just feeling that stretch at the side of the neck. And then bring your head back level. Good. We're just going to do the legs up the wall pose. So have a bolster by your wall, and you're just going to have you can always tie your legs together. If you've got a belt handy, you can put the belt into a bit of a loop. You don't need the belt, but it just helps you to keep your legs there without having to exert a lot of effort. So you just come down onto the floor and then sit yourself on the bolster and then just roll yourself onto the bolster. You might have to just shuffle the bolster away from the floor a little just to support your legs, your lower back, sorry, and then just put the belt around your legs. And then just stretch your legs up the wall. Let your arms just rest on the floor above your head like they were doing in the mountain brook pose. So just allowing yourself to release into the floor. Release into the inversion. So the previous poses we've done this evening, release your energy, allowing the energy to flow. But this inversion allows that energy to become quiet energy. And then just bend your knees, just release the belt if you're using it, and then just gently roll onto your side, and then very gently just sit yourself up. Don't come up too quickly. Just sitting cross legs for a moment. Just observing the energy you have released through your practice, that quiet energy. And then just have the bolster for underneath your knees. Just unfold your blanket so that you make it just a little kind of pillow shape, just that little 8th fold. And then lay yourself down back onto the blanket. And then just allow yourself to release back into the floor. Just allowing your energy to release, allowing the body to just release into the floor. Just allow the body to relax into the floor, letting go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. And observing the energy radiating out from the bones and into the muscles and into the flesh and the skin and into the organs. Just feel that energy radiating into the toes and into the fingers and up into the top of the head. And then when you're ready, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, have the feet apart and the knees together. Just resting into the floor. And then just roll over to your side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position, just a final cross legs with your hands in Namaste, just a final spinal lift. Just draw your breath in through your nose down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this evening, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy around the heart area. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And then as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel like you've really lifted your energy, but also giving it some real quietness, just so that you can enjoy the rest of your evening, and you should sleep really well later as well. Thank you very much for joining me.